Is Ollie Watkins the best captain? Which players are off to AFCON and the Asia Cup, and when are they coming back? If you sold Erling Haaland, when is the best time to bring him back? Which is the best free hit team? And I've compiled a list of the best defenders, in my opinion, at the moment. These are my thoughts going into Game Week 18. We're going to start off the video then by talking about potentially captaining Ollie Watkins. Now, when you look at the top players for expected points according to DraftHound, Watkins is by far and away number one. He's ahead of Son and Salah with 7.1 expected points compared to 6.6 for Son and 6.5 for Salah. And to be honest, obviously Salah is, well, you'd suggest is the most popular captaincy pick on most weeks out of these lot. However, he's got Arsenal at home, who are definitely one of the best defences in the league for expected goals conceded, and I don't think he's going to go mental. I do think he could score in the game, but when you compare the players on fixtures, I think Son playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Everton will probably do better than Salah, so the expected points are fair. And then Ollie Watkins has got Sheffield United at home. I mean, Aston Villa are basically unbeatable at home at the moment. They've got a fantastic record. I think they've won something like 17 straight games at home now. And then Sheffield United are absolutely terrible away. They had a terrible record even back in the Championship. So, yeah, when you look at the fixtures, the quality of players on show, I think Ollie Watkins is definitely a viable captaincy pick. One thing that kind of puts me off him, although I'm not sure it's enough to take the armband off him, is penalties. Both Son and Salah are going to take the penalties for their respective teams, and usually when I'm looking at putting the armband on someone, I like to put it on someone that's going to take the penalties, because that's always just a safe string to the bow. You know, always have a chance of scoring a goal in any fixture if a player takes penalties. However, I just think with the quality of fixture he's got, the way Villa are playing at home, and the fact that he's in really good form at the moment, Ollie Watkins is the best captain. So on the topic of AFCON and the Asia Cup then, I'm not going to take any credit for this graphic. Rob T FPL has done a fantastic job of putting this together. And to be honest, I think it kind of tells you all you need to know going into the tournament. So all the players that are playing in these tournaments are going to at least miss FPL Game Week 21, right? If they get eliminated in the group stages, they might be back for Game Week 22, but most likely back for Game Week 23. So that means, you know, the likes of Tomiyasu, Son, Matoma, Hwang, and you can see all the African players at the top there. Most of them are going to miss at least both Game Week 21 and 22, and obviously depending on how far they get in the tournament, like for example, if they win the thing or, you know, get to the final, they'll probably not be back until Game Week 26. So yeah, I would anticipate, of all those players that I'm looking at here, South Korea probably have the strongest chance of most teams, in my opinion, to win a tournament and get to the final. I'd say Cameroon obviously have a chance with Africa. They look really strong with some of the players they have. But, you know, Korea in particular, I think, are really, really strong. So the likes of Song and Hwang, it could be out for an extended period of time, potentially. We could see them, you know, out from Game Week 21 all the way up to Game Week 26, potentially. But yeah, it's just something to bear in mind, really. I'd suggest, if it was me, if I owned Salah, both Salah and Son, I'd look to save up a couple free transfers, basically, and prepare for Game Week 21 and probably 22 being blanks. I think if they were just missing one game week, you'd probably get away with benching them. But based on the fact I think both their teams probably get out of the groups, I'd anticipate them to miss probably a couple of weeks of Premier League football. And in that case, I reckon they're probably sellable players. Especially with Son, like I said, he'd probably be out for a big period of time. And Salah, I just always feel Egypt do quite well in the AFCON tournament, despite not necessarily being the strongest team. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on AFCON. And these tables here kind of show you when you might look to buy and sell these players. Okay, next up, I just wanted to talk through a free hit team, basically. I know Brentford and Man City both blanking. You might have a number of players from those teams and be in a position where you need to play your free hit, basically. So I've spent a bit of time in the DraftHound squad builder tool. You can look at the link in the description to find that for yourself, and I've put together what I think is the strongest free hit team. So gone for Martinez in goal. I just think, you know, the quality of fixture that Villa have got with Sheffield United at home is fantastic. The best chance of any team for keeping a clean sheet, and Martinez I think is just such a solid option. He's guaranteed pretty much to play. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Trippier and Pedro Porro. You could actually start Konsa, I would say, ahead of one of these guys, just with Villa's clean sheet odds, but I prefer to spread my risk a little bit in terms of clean sheets, because if Sheffield United do nick a scruffy goal, I'm not really sure Consa's going to score any points outside of that. But Trent, Trippier and Porro, regardless of whether their teams keep a clean sheet or not, they can still all get attacking returns. And Trent's probably the weaker of the three, to be honest, despite being the most, expensive, because Arsenal, I think, have the highest chances of scoring of all of those teams. So yeah, potentially Consa could be in for Trent there, but I've gone for Trent. I think he's my favourite of the two. Salah, Gordon, Palmer, Son and Saka as the midfield. I think, well, with respect of Bowen long term, I think this is probably the best midfield you can pick in FPL, and certainly the best midfield you can pick in on free hit. I don't see any way you can beat this. Liverpool, I think they have a chance of conceding against Arsenal, in my opinion. And if they do, I think Saka's going to be the one involved in that goal. So I'd be quite happy to stick him in my free hit team and start him. Salah, I think he's got a chance of scoring in any game he plays. He always plays up to, the big fixture and scores goals in big Premier League games. So I wouldn't let the fact he's playing at Arsenal put me off. Gordon, Palmer and Son have just been stalwarts in FPL teams this season. I think they've all got decent fixtures where they could score. Watkins is my captain. As I said, I think Watkins is the strongest captain this game week. I've gone for Solanke. Obviously, the horrible events that happened during that Luton game still remains to be seen what's going to happen with his points at the time of recording this, at least in game week 17. But with Nottingham Forest as his fixture, Bournemouth still the top team in the Premier League over the last 5 for expected goals, and Solanke the top player for expected goal involvement. So for that reason, you have to pick him. It doesn't, well, in my case, I've got some players a bit cheaper than you might be able to buy them at the moment, but this team should be affordable for everyone. And if it isn't, there's a couple of defenders in there in and around the 4.5 million price category that you could downgrade if you really wanted to and just save a bit of cash. Just get Charlie Taylor in, for example, and save yourself, 0.5 million. And then this team really should be affordable for everyone. And to be honest, I don't think you can beat it. Now, I wondered if you could do me a favour. If you're enjoying the video so far, please make sure to leave a like rating, subscribe to the channel as well, set the notification bell so you can see when I upload next. If you're really enjoying the video, please consider joining as a channel member. You'll get early access to all of my videos, and when I deadline stream, I'll give you priority when I rate people's teams in Draft Hound. You can also, if you want to support the channel in a different way, check out my shop down below. You can buy yourself a golden goal sticker or a mug. All right, back to the video. All right then, I just wanted to talk about my favourite defenders in the game at the moment. I think now is a time where people, well, there's a few fixture swings going on in terms of defences, and there are some new good defenders emerging in the game at the moment, with some teams keeping a range of clean sheets or getting attacking returns. And Pedro Porro is the first defender I wanted to talk about. He's already quite a popular asset in FPL, but if you don't have him already, I think he's a fantastic option. I mean, Spurs are proven to be a pretty decent defence. Porro himself is putting up some decent attacking numbers, and when you look at the expected returns per 90 that he's put together, it genuinely rivals some midfielders in the game. Decent fixtures coming up. I'd say he's got a chance of clean sheets in a few of them, and obviously a chance of getting attacking returns as well. I'd say of all the Spurs defenders, he's probably the best, although you do pay for it in fairness. He's more expensive than any of the others. And when you look at his returns as well, 11 returns in 16 starts if you count clean sheets and assists together. He's averaging pretty well. I mean, if a player you pick scored 11 goals in 16 games, you'd be quite happy with him. And Pedro Porro is almost doing that as a defender, really. I'd also say he's put up 1.8 expected goals and not actually netted one yet. So I do think he's due a goal soon. You can't talk about good defenders and not mention Trent Alexander-Arnold. He does admittedly have 2 tough fixtures in his next 3, but he's proven this season that even in the tough fixtures, he can still find a way of getting returns by scoring a goal or getting an assist right. And Arsenal at Anfield, game week 18, I have a feeling that Liverpool could keep a clean sheet in that one. Anfield is such a factor for them. I really do think they've got a chance for a clean sheet, and given the nature and state of the game, it could be just a 0-0, to be honest. We've seen multiple clashes in the past, big Premier League games, a 6-pointer for first place, etc., all being 0-0s, and I've got a feeling it could well be that this weekend. Trent, though, as a whole, he's got 11 returns from 14 starts. If you count up, well, it's easy to count up. I mean, clean sheets plus goals plus assists, that equals 11, and he started 14 games. Liverpool, I think, have improved defensively this season and have proven now they can keep clean sheets. With Alisson back in the side, I think that only serves to make them even stronger. They can really trust Alisson to make those one-on-one saves when they play such a high line like they do. So I think that's only going to strengthen them defensively and obviously score Trent more points. Next up, again, it's another obvious pick really, but Kieran Trippier I think is just a fantastic FPL option. He's proven he can get clean sheets, attacking returns, and he's also great for bonus points. When you count up the returns again, 13 returns in 16 starts is a fantastic record for 7 million. Newcastle, of any team, have kept the most clean sheets as well. We all know how good they are defensively, particularly at home. They've had a bit of a rocky set of results recently, but they've played well when they're at home. That's the kind of thing I like to rely on from Newcastle, basically, is to perform when they're at home. And he's definitely the best Newcastle defender in the game, right? But you do pay for it. You know, the likes of, well, other players who I might talk about, Botman and Burn, you can get for substantially cheaper, but they won't score you as many points as Trippier. One thing I would say, his expected goal stats are quite low, but he usually scores 2 or 3 goals a season from free kicks, and he might have 1 or 2 goals basically coming up in this next period as well. The underlying numbers aren't suggesting it at the moment, but we all know how good he is from free kick positions, and yeah, I just got a feeling one's going to go in sometime soon. I just think, yeah, you can't deny he's a good option. Now, Konsa, again, Villa proven to be really, really good at home, and I think he's a nice option to rotate around, basically. He's the cheapest starting Villa defender. He started every game for Villa so far this season. He does seem to get fairly far forward in that right-back position as well. He's got 1.5 XG so far this season, so I'd say he's due a goal sometime soon as well. And just the fact he plays right-back compared to the other guy who I quite like, Pau Torres, playing at centre-back, I think he's going to get forward a bit more and offer a little bit more attacking threat. Couple of tough fixtures mixed in over the next 5, I'll admit, but when they're at home, obviously we know that Villa can literally keep clean sheets against anyone. But I would say as well, at 4.5 million, there's no harm in benching him. But with Sheffield United at home in game week 18, it's just a great option. Next up, I wanted to talk about Sven Botman. Burn also appears to be back in the Newcastle team for slightly cheaper at 4.4 million, but I would suggest that I think Burn is slightly less nailed than Sven Botman, with the likes of Livramento potentially competing for his position and offering something a bit different. I do think Burn could see some more rotation, but Botman, he's by far and away Newcastle's best centre-back, and I think he's going to play every game, to be honest. He appears to be back fit, and I believe he's going to start in game week 18. The chances of that happening, I think, have been greatly increased by the fact that Fabian Schär is injured. He only played 6 minutes for Fulham, but that proves to me that he's fit enough to play a Premier League football game. He's such a great defender, has such a big impact on that Newcastle team, which is only going to serve, in my opinion, to increase their chances of keeping a clean sheet. Yeah, his return level for the price has been ridiculous this season so far. He's made 5 starts, kept 2 clean sheets, and got a goal and an assist. So 4 returns in 5 starts, basically, for 4.5 million. Yeah, Liverpool, Man City in 20 and 21. Don't get me wrong, those are tough games, but at 4.5 million, you could just stick him on your bench. Alright, and finally, my final defender I want to talk about, probably, in my opinion, the best Chelsea defender in the game, is Levi Colwill. And when you look at the quality of fixtures that Chelsea have, he's such a good set and forget option in your team, basically. And with all these other 4.5 million defenders, you can rotate him with others quite comfortably, in my opinion. He's probably the best Chelsea defender because, in my opinion, he's the most nailed. He's proven he can play both left-back and centre-back. I think there's going to be times where he's going to have to fill in at centre-back when other players, Thiago Silva, need a rest. And obviously with Ben Chilwell being injured, he's the first choice left back in the team at the moment. And he's offering a bit of goal threat too this season. 1 goal, 1 assist, and a little bit more in terms of XG than actual returns as well. And Pochettino just clearly absolutely loves him. So yeah, I think he's going to start the most games of all the Chelsea defenders, which means he's probably going to score the most points. Finally, I've got a quick update on Erling Haaland and when I'm thinking of buying him back in my team. The update I've got is yesterday, this 18th of December, Man City Extra tweeted that he wasn't in training. So that suggests to me that he's still got whatever injury was keeping him out of the last couple of fixtures. So first of all, he doesn't actually seem to be fit. So a plan for bringing him back in, you need to keep it pretty fast and loose, to be honest, because, well, yeah, he's not fit. We don't know that he's going to play. We'll obviously have the Club World Cup to play out, and if he starts one of the games or gets some minutes in one of the games in that, we know that he's going to be fit to come back to the Premier League. The question is, though, when is the best time to bring him back? For me, I think it's probably game week 20. You could get away with not having him in game week 19 for Everton away. I think with the form that Man City is in, might be a dangerous statement to make, to be honest, but I think Everton away is one of the toughest places to go at the moment in the league. Everton are, the form that they're in at the moment, the kind of motivation increase they've had from the points deduction, I just think Goodison Park is a really tough place to go, and Haaland will have reasonably tough time there. But game week 20, Sheffield United at home, pretty much, well, literally the best fixture you can ask for in the Prem at the moment. That's the time that I'll be looking to bring him in and bring him in as my captain. To be honest, there'll probably be a Man City double game week coming up at some point. It's not been confirmed yet, so we don't know. But I'd almost suggest that Sheffield United at home fixture could be time to play your triple captainship, because it's the best player in the game, the best fixture you can ask for. It kind of makes sense in my opinion. So yeah, just one to hold out for though. Obviously, you have to bear in mind that he's still doesn't appear to be fit. So whatever plan you come up with to bring him in, you've got to keep it pretty loose. Alright, and that's the end of the video. A bit of a summary of all my thoughts there, all the key thoughts at least going into game week 18. If any more comes out, I'll be sure to mention them in my next video, but I think that's covered most of the main talking points for now at least. If you enjoyed it, please leave me a like rating. Let me know in the comments what you think of some of those defenders I've mentioned, and subscribe to the Golden Goal channel. Golden Goal channel, or it should be just there. And I'll catch you in my next video.